I might be a little bit of a hoarder. We need to do something about this. I've got this beautiful kitchen I just built up. It's an open living area, and right on the other side of the room is this total eyesore, massive piles of boxes and stuff. So a lot of this stuff came from the master bedroom at my old place, which means in order to clean it out, we need to get the closets in my master bedroom here usable. But there is a problem with that. Right now, the master bedroom closets are completely full of boxes of other stuff that I also don't have any place to put. So the main thing taking up space in here is my National Geographic collection.
Nerd!
I inherited this from my grandparents. I have almost every single issue of National Geographic dating back until like the 1920s. We also need storage for a bunch of camera gear and electronic stuff, as well as a bunch of linens, pillows, and that sort of thing. So I made a list, checked it twice, of 4 storage areas I need to build out or install in order to fix my hoarding problem. 1 is gonna be a giant bookshelf for all those National Geographics. 2 is gonna be building out at least one of those master closets. 3 is gonna be finishing that linen closet that we started building a few videos ago. 4th and final is gonna be getting some storage in the 3rd bedroom, which is gonna double as a camera and electronics room. First up, we're gonna be building the bookshelves, and I think I've come up with a pretty cool design for these. Basically, I'm gonna have 7 modular cubic pieces. I don't know, they're rectangular, so they're not really cubes. What would you call these? Plenty of space, I think, to hold all those Nat Geos. So now let's get down to the workshop and start cutting the pieces for that shelf out on the CNC. Okay, we got everything cut down on the CNC. Got a stack of all the pieces right behind me here. And I just decided that I'm going to add back panels to all of the boxes that make up the shelf. I think that'll add just a little bit more pizzazz to the design. Kind of tossing around a couple options, either like a walnut plywood veneer or maybe just painted a solid color. We'll see. And in order to fit the 1/4-inch panel nicely into the back of each cube-esque structure, I'm gonna route a 1/4-inch rabbet around the edges of the pieces that I just cut. Next up, I'm gonna give the exterior a light sanding just to remove any drips of glue or anything like that. And then we're gonna put some paste wax finish onto the plywood. We're gonna try to do this fast assembly line style. So I've got cameraman Cam over there applying the finish. I'm gonna be sanding here because, as you know, our goal is to get this building finished, hopefully by the end of this year. I cut the 1 piece of 1/4-inch plywood I had, which happened to be walnut, and I actually really like how this looks. I'm kind of thinking we're gonna do a walnut back. It's the next day. I just made a run to 3 different lumber stores because apparently there's now a shortage in walnut plywood. But I finally found a sheet of 1/4-inch walnut plywood so we can make the backs to this. We're gonna cut those down on the table saw and then get back to assembling the storage. I'm gonna throw some finish onto these and pre-finish them before we nail them onto the shelves. It'll just be easier than digging inside the shelves. As I'm finally unpacking, getting organized, I'm also starting to think more about the decor. So I was super stoked when this video's sponsor, Bliss, approached me and asked if I'd like to check out some of their ethically sourced skulls. Bliss offers jaw-dropping, hand-carved skulls that are absolute conversation pieces in any room. Take a quick look at their website and you'll see that it is really hard to pick out just one. In fact, I am totally torn. I can't figure out which of the three they sent me I'm gonna display in my living room. First option, we got this hand-carved black mandala longhorn skull. Super cool with intricate hand-carved details throughout. Second option, we have this black mirror mosaic ram skull that have these really cool pieces of mosaic tile reflecting light off it in all different directions. It's like nature's disco ball. Third option, we have the white storm longhorn skull. This one's a little more basic, but still just beautiful in its simplicity. And since I can't decide which one to display in the living room, I'm gonna turn it over to you guys and let you decide for me. Go down and leave a comment of the name of the skull that you like the best for my living room, and then I'm gonna go with whatever you guys pick. As you also probably noticed, they have multiple display options to give you tons of designing possibilities. You've got your display stand, your standard wall mount, and probably my favorite, the backlit LED wall mount. Also very important to me is that all of Bliss's skulls are ethically sourced. No animals are ever killed just for their skulls. Instead, Bliss gets their skulls from local Balinese agricultural industries. These businesses used to discard the skulls as a waste product, but now Bliss's Balinese artisans are transforming them into beautiful works of art. So if you're looking for a show-stopping focal point in your home, head over to Bliss's website via the link in the description below to check them out for yourself. Thanks again to Bliss for sponsoring this video and for sending me some really darn cool skulls for my home. And now, let's get back into it. So it's time to assemble the shelf, and what I'm actually gonna do is put it together down here with conformat screws. Using the conformat screws is gonna allow us to assemble it down here, get everything lined up nicely in the workshop, but then really quickly break all the boxes apart, take it upstairs in single boxes that are much more manageable, and then reassemble all the boxes upstairs super quick. Future me here. At this point, I assembled the full bookshelf, but I started to think I could take advantage of the modular way that I made all those separate sections and totally change up the design. I think you'll be really surprised when you see how we changed it up. But first, we got 3 other storage areas we need to address. So let's head upstairs to the master bedroom to clear out those closets. All right, guys, I got a confession. I was planning to build out custom built-in closets, like same way I build all the kitchen cabinets, all that good stuff, but I just don't have the time for that right now. We need to get this project done. So I just ran to Ikea, bought some of their pre-made closet stuff. Bright side of this is that we are now gonna get a fun little Ikea build montage. Master closet storage is done. And for those of you wondering, I will be building the other master bedroom closet out eventually, and maybe even redoing this one with some super cool custom designed built-ins, but that's for a future date. And I think we got the closet at a point where we can get unpacked, which is the main goal right now. So next up on the list is finishing that linen closet in the bathroom. We're gonna go get to that right now. I've got these doors, check this out. Well, doors, single door right now. I got one of them in. It took me better part of a day. Slides in completely out of the way. Now the hardware itself, you can't see here because I've constructed this sort of inner partition and the door hides inside that, which means to install all this hardware inside on the baffle before you install the baffle, then put that in. It's definitely a little bit of work to do, but I think it's worth it. Let's go get the hardware for the second door installed down in the workshop. the hinge pocket for these is 40 millimeters, which is a little bit bigger than the standard hinge size. So I can't use my normal hinge drilling jig, and instead I got ROCKLER's portable drill press here. Disclosure, they are a channel sponsor, but this thing is all metal. It's nicely weighted, so when the drill's in it, it doesn't tip over. Really loving this thing for drilling nice, accurate, straight holes, which you absolutely need when you're drilling into expensive door material like this. We're ready to install the partition, and before we do, let's take a second just to admire what's probably the craziest door hardware I've ever installed or ever will install. So this electrical up here, by the way, is going to connect to the wires that run through the wall into the LEDs in the wood feature wall. But for those finishing touches, you're gonna have to wait for the full bathroom reveal video. All right, this is probably a better two-person job, but we're still trying to do it. Pinch hand. I have absolutely no idea. I managed to install this first door solo. This is a two-person job to get a door this big and lined up with 4 latches. I'm gonna do this tomorrow when cameraman Cam gets back. One thing I can do tonight is pop these shelves in. Yeah, we're just gonna do this all in the morning.
The next morning.
There's just no angle. I still have to do all the trim around that linen cabinet to give it the full built-in look, but it's now functional so I can get unpacked. And again, that's what we're going for in this video. So last up on the list is the 3rd bedroom, where we're gonna have a bunch of camera and electronics storage. There really wasn't a whole lot to do here. Cameraman Cam and I just kind of cleared everything out and then brought in some shelving, which we got super lucky and found out in the alley behind the building. A neighbor was throwing it out and it was perfectly good, so we snagged it. So there's a lesson here. You guys might think that I'm this big YouTuber, but I ain't against dumpster diving. All 4 items are crossed off our list, but like I hinted at earlier, we are actually making a big change with that bookshelf storage for the living room. Let's head back down and show you guys what we came up with. I put it together, I stacked it up tall, 7 feet tall, and it looked pretty cool. And also notice how the walnut and plywood pattern kind of matches the brick that's in the living room, but that's another story. The arrangement, I liked it tall, but I also have a TV that's just sitting on a coffee table that I made a while back. It's not a real media center. And I decided, wait, maybe we could kind of move things horizontally to make this really cool, long media center bookshelf type thing. And I think that's what we're gonna go with. Check this out. This is the rough arrangement. This right here is perfect height for a TV. It's just kind of this cool structure. I'm gonna put some leveling feet on each of these sections so that we can line them up so there won't be any gaps here. It'll look all seamless. And there'll be a little baseboard all the way around the bottom to kind of finish it off. I always kind of like low profile furniture anyway. It just looks more modern to me. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna go get the leveling legs on this and then we'll get it installed. All right, we can just set the TV right here. And now, all we gotta do is sort through 100 years of Nat Geo. While we're organized, I just wanna share some of these magazines because they're just like these super cool time capsules of history. They go all the way back to January of 1923, and actually those I think were my great-grandfathers who handed them down to my grandfather who then handed them all down to me. This issue from March 1964 caught my eye. And the cover article is how we planned to put men on the moon because it hadn't happened yet. And so reading these articles about what they were gonna do before it actually happened at that time is just super fascinating. This one from December of 1988 was their 100th anniversary. And it's got this crazy holographic cover, which I think at the time, like these sorts of holographs were kind of a really new technology. And of course, McDonald's has a holograph on the back. 4 hours later, we have all of these sorted out, totally in order by date, dating all the way back. They are actually now back 100 years ago because they go back to 2023. So it's literally like the 100th anniversary of the first issue that my grandfather got. Kind of cool. And now for the satisfying part, I'm gonna put them in the shelves. We're gonna hope they fit, but I actually feel like I might need to build a few more modules to add on to this at some point to house them all, but we'll see. You guys remember at the beginning of the video, I really did have a little bit of a hoarding problem. We had boxes and just stacks of all kinds of stuff everywhere. We built a ton of storage, so there are places for all those things. Off camera, I also did a purging and threw a ton of stuff out. Now that we fixed the hoarding problem, it's time to see the results, and I am pretty happy how it's looking. So I'm happy to report that we are currently still on track to finish the renovation by the end of this year. We've just got a few more projects left that will be coming up in the next few videos. We'll be doing the full master bathroom reveal. And then sometime around the end of this year, we will have the full start to finish building renovation video, the last 2.5 years of my life. So make sure you guys sub and bell to check that all out. That is it for this time, and I will see you guys next time.